Welcome to Daily Devotion with Ken Gurley. Devotions designed to inspire you on your daily walk with God. Here's your host, Ken Gurley.
Hey, good Friday morning. Sorry, I was a little late getting all the tech stuff going. Happy to see you today. What a great subject today. Goodbye, Grudge. Now, if that's your pet nickname for a loved one, I deeply apologize for that. Sometimes I pick on Meg and Madge and Marge and Biff, and I make up names, and then I find out these are people's real names. But if Grudge is your nickname, so please forgive me, but goodbye, Grudge. Goodbye. Oh, this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the good things of the Lord today and see some good things happen. Happy that you're here, and thankful for you taking the time and being a part of this today. We're going into a great weekend, a weekend devoted to prayer, closing out 21 days of prayer. I'm so excited about Sunday morning in Pearland, and we're going to see some amazing things happen, and then Sunday evening, a prayer service as well. A farmer walked into an attorney's office. He said, I want to file for one of them divorces. The attorney said, well, do you have any grounds? And the farmer said, yes, I got about 140 acres. The attorney said, no, you don't understand. Do you have a case? And the farmer said, no, I don't have a case, but I have a John Deere. The attorney said, no, you don't understand. I mean, do you have a grudge? And the farmer said, well, yeah, I got a grudge. That's where I parked my John Deere. The attorney said, no, sir, I mean, do you have a suit? And the farmer said, yes, I've got a suit. I wear that to church on Sundays. And the exasperated attorney said, well, sir, does your wife beat you up or anything? And the farmer said, no, we both get up around 4:30 in the morning. And finally, the attorney said, okay, let me put it this way. Why do you want a divorce? And the farmer replied, because I can never have a meaningful conversation with her. A grudge might not be where you park your John Deere, but you can still park a lot of stuff in a grudge. And we're going to talk about goodbye, grudge. Welcome to the Daily Devotion family. We do this every Monday through Friday. This is a great day, and looking forward to a great weekend, and happy that you're here. And you make this very special, and thank you for reaching out one to another, encouraging one another, and seeing good things happening. As Hebrews 12 says, follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord, looking diligently lest any fail of the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness springing up defile you, trouble you, and therefore many be defiled. I'm comparing that grudge to that root of bitterness. How do you live a healthy life, a toxic-free life? I read an excerpt from a keynote address to a wellness conference for senior citizens, and the physician making the speech spoke of the resiliency necessary to grow older with grace. Yeah, I like that. Some people handle life's setbacks better than others, he said. Life's best survivors are resilient, hardy, cope well with difficulties, gain strength from adversity. Resilient older adults are accustomed to having things work out well. They feel optimistic and self-confident when coping with rough situations. They read new realities rapidly, adapt quickly, are psychologically flexible. They tolerate ambiguity, those gray areas of life. They can use creative problem solving. They understand others accurately, trust their intuition, and handle pressure with humor. The stronger their self-esteem and life smarts, the less vulnerable they are to cons, threats, criticism, manipulators, quackery. You see, research into the psychology of aging shows that psychologically resilient adults cope well with an aging body. When they lose friends or loved ones, they express their feelings in an open, healthy way. This is so good. This is so good. But listen to the last line of this paragraph. Learning is the key to handle change. Resilient individuals get better and better every decade because they have a childlike curiosity. They ask questions, they explore, they want to know how things work. They learn valuable lessons in the school of life. Here we go. Resilient adults are happy rather than hostile. They forgive instead of holding grudges and are more playful than they are serious. I want to get nicer the older I get. I want to get happier the older I get. I want to forget more of the hurts and pains. I'm not as strong as I was when I could bench press a few hundred pounds in late high school, early college. Not that strong anymore. I can't hold up bearing grudges. Do you know that holding grudges leads to health problems? In a journal of psychological science, it found that an unwillingness to forgive others leads to long-term health problems. 71 men, 71 women were studied. They were asked to describe a past hurt, and they found that their body stress responses went through the roof. Holding grudges damages your physical man. It damages your spiritual man. The writer of Hebrews talks about a root of bitterness. Revenge is outward bitterness. A grudge is inward bitterness. It's revenge turned inward on itself, and it will destroy us from the inside out. God, I don't know what I think about this. And I don't even know if I understand this. Let me just say it like this. Scripture teaches us that God doesn't hear the prayers of a person who is holding grudges against other people. It's like a wall between earth and heaven. Where do grudges come from? First of all, a grudge is an unresolved hurt. Let me give you 10 signs of hurting people. Yolanda, you're going to have to move fast on this. Hurting people, 10 signs. First, they show a lack of concern for others. Second, they're very sensitive and touchy. Ooh. I mean, really, if a bitter person walks into a room where two other people are talking and those people get quieter as they walk in, that bitter person thinks they've been talking about me. Yeah. The third quality of a hurting person, they become very possessive with just very few friends and rarely ever have any real close friends. They also have an unnatural fear of losing relationships. Number 4, they tend to avoid meeting new people. 5, they show little to no gratitude at all. 6, they will usually speak words of empty flattery or harsh criticism. 7, they have a stubborn or sulking attitude. Hey, shh. It's a secret between us. Don't you just despise people that pout? Just between us. Yeah. Number 8, they experience mood extremes. Number 9, they are usually unwilling to share or help anybody. They're higher than a kite one moment, super low the next. They're so low they can reach up and touch bottom. Then 10. Here is the chief sign of a hurt person. They hold grudges against people for an awful long time. These people, they find it so very hard to forgive. What is a grudge? A grudge is a cluttered filing cabinet. We call it holding a grudge. We got this mental filing cabinet, and there's a file, I guess, named Horrible Things People Have Done to Me. There's another one that said, Bad Things Others Have Said About Me, and so on. Anytime someone hurts us, we file it away. It can be the smallest slight, it can be the greatest hurt. We just tuck them away. Tuck them away. It's always a good time. It may not be spring, but it's always a good time to have a spring cleaning of Grudge's filing cabinet. Empty some hurts. Just let loose of that stuff, physically and figuratively, that you've been holding on to. A 4-year-old once prayed the Lord's Prayer, forgive us our trash baskets as we forgive those who put trash in our baskets. Yeah, let go of grudges. What is a grudge? It's not just a cluttering filing cabinet. A grudge is an imperfect grading system. Whitney Houston said the greatest love of all is to learn to love yourself. Most people don't have problems with that. They love themselves. As part of the problem with grudges is they're kinder to themselves, more charitable, more forgiving to themselves than they are to other people. What we forgive in ourselves, we never forgive in others. Many times have I heard people say, like, that person should forgive me. Then the next thing you hear is they're attacking someone who hurt them. Why is that? We excuse in ourselves what we won't tolerate in others. We say things like, well, I may be wrong, but what they did is worse to me. You remember when David was confronted by Nathan the prophet, who told him this parable of a rich man who stole a poor man's ewe lamb. David immediately said, that man should die. It's easier to judge others than to judge ourselves. But here's a caution. A grudge. Now you're going to find this even in the New Living Translation, in the contemporary English version of the Bible. You're not going to find what I'm about to say, so don't try to look it up. A grudge will soon transform us into a Grinch. It's not in the Bible anywhere. Leonard Holt was a company man. He worked at the same Pennsylvania paper mill for 19 years, Boy Scout leader, volunteer fireman, church member, good father. Everybody admired Leonard until he walked into the paper mill with 2 pistols in his hands and began to gun down friends and coworkers. People lay wounded, dead everywhere, people he'd known for years. It took a while for people to understand the puzzle of Leonard Holt's meltdown. As detectives and friends unraveled it, it seemed that Leonard felt like others were promoted more than him. Bitterness had entered in his heart. Roots were growing there. And it grew into a grudge. And a grudge remember, a grudge is bitterness turned inward, but revenge is bitterness turned outward. Time magazine had an article about Leonard Holt. The title of the article, Responsible, Respectful, and Resentful. A grudge can take a normal, caring person and transform them into a monster. It was Stephen Crane who wrote, in the desert I saw a creature, naked and bestial, who squatting upon the ground held his heart in his hands and ate his heart. I said, is it a good friend? He said, it's bitter. But I like it because it's bitter and because it's my heart. It's what a grudge does. It transforms us into something primitive. And we destroy the inner man with it. How do you get rid of a grudge? You remember it was called a root of bitterness. So you have to grub out that grudge. My brothers and I, we would go to East Texas with our parents and clear brush from some lots they owned up there. We loved swinging the axes and watching the little yopon sapling splinter, but none of us liked grubbing out the roots. That's tough work. But that's what's got to be done. A grudge is only gotten rid of when the axe is laid to the root of the tree. It's got to be grubbed out tediously. How do I do that? Let me give you some practical ways. I don't even know if you need these. I think once you start thinking in this direction, you start moving in the right direction. But if you need some suggestions, go ahead and make a list of people that have hurt you. Have you ever prayed the Lord's Prayer which says, forgive us our trespasses, we forgive those who trespass against us? Christianity doesn't mean that you have to pretend you weren't hurt. List the trespasses. List the names of people who hurt you and what they did to you. My parents didn't keep their promises. My father took out his temper on me. My wife tries to make me into something I'm not. My friend betrayed a confidence, on and on. Look at the adults. I look at adults with grown children. And what I see is adults who hold grudges against their parent for what they did to them when they were children. It's so easy to see this replicated again and again and again. Make a list. Make a list of those who've hurt you, but then quickly make a second list of the things you've done to hurt them. Hurt doesn't take place in a vacuum. Now, I'm not blaming the actions of others. or blaming you for the actions of others. But in our adult relationships, hurt is usually a two-way street. What did I do? Search me, O Lord, know me. What did I do to contribute to this problem? Then the third thing, how they hurt you, how you hurt others. Take a good long look at how we've hurt the Lord. When we finish our list, we ask God, what have I done to hurt you? What have I done to mar your image? Maybe I'm hurting because you're hurting. Genesis 6:6, where it says, it grieved God that he made man and that his heart was filled with pain. The word pain, it means has difficulty breathing. When we sin, it takes God's breath away, hurts him. We disappoint God. The Bible says if we please God, even our enemies will be at peace with us. Could it be that our unresolved hurting God brings some of this opposition into our life? I'm not saying that happens every time, but it's worth asking. Ask the forgiveness of God and man. Seek the forgiveness of God. Seek man's forgiveness. Write a card, make a phone call, tear up your list, burn it, and most importantly, refuse to hold to unforgiveness. Forgiveness is releasing the hold you have on someone. It's saying the debt's gone, the file cabinet's empty. Peter Miller was a Baptist pastor during the American Revolution. Miller lived in a village in Pennsylvania. One of his dearest friends was General George Washington. In his hometown, there lived a spiteful troublemaker named Michael Whitman, who did all he could to oppose and to humiliate Miller. One day, though, Whitman was arrested for treason, sentenced to death. When Miller heard the news, he set out for Philadelphia to plead for the life of his enemy. He walked 70 miles on foot. Miller petitioned his friend, General Washington, please spare Whitman's life. He said, Peter, I can't do that. General Washington said, I can't. I cannot grant you the life of your friend. My friend, exclaimed the old preacher. He's not my friend. He's the most bitter enemy that I have. And Washington said, what? You walked 70 miles to save the life of an enemy? Well, that puts this matter in a completely different light, and I'll grant your pardon. And he did. That day, Miller and Whitman walked back home 70 miles. 70 miles they walked, and they were no longer enemies. They became the best of friends. That's how you do it. Say goodbye to the grudge. Yes. Can I just give you one more word as I close this out today? One more word that I just want to say. One root of bitterness can defile many. It can go through a family, it can go through a church family, it can leap the generations, it can enter into a community, it can set a local church back for generations. Can I just say, and I'm just going to say this, maybe it's my own theory, but it is based on a lot of observation. Most churches do not get weak and fall apart simply because there's been some bad doctrine or there's been some bad things happen. Churches fall apart because a root of bitterness worms its way into that church. Goodbye, grudge. Root it out. Get your hearts right. Let's go to heaven together. Let's rejoice together down here. Let it be done on earth as it is in heaven. And let's see what God can do in our midst. Thank you, Daily Devotion family. You guys are amazing. Thank you for being a part all week long, for sharing this with others. Please share. Like and follow on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube. We'll be over on KYC in just a few moments. And check out KenGurley.com. Find the latest books and materials. I'm proud to be able to say this is the Daily Devotion family. And we're going to see some good things happen this weekend. And thankful. Those of you that are in the church, looking forward to a great Sunday morning. And many really interesting things are planned for this Sunday morning. Prayer meeting Saturday night, family prayer, Sunday morning men's prayer, then Sunday night a prayer service. Just a great weekend. Come for what you're able to and let's see God move. God bless you. Thank you for being a part of this. Share with others. I look forward to seeing you again come Monday morning. God bless.
Thank you for sharing in Daily Devotion with Ken Gurley. We pray this ministry has been a source of encouragement and strength to you. Please be mindful that your financial support enables us to meet with you each day. To give a donation or connect with us, visit our website at kengurley.com. There you will also find the latest books, podcasts, and resources. Blessed 90 Days to Change Your World is Pastor Gurley's latest book. You can get your copy of this life-changing book at kengurley.com. May God's favor rest on you in every way until we meet again.